Hello again, everyone. This is Joe Hentges with Beyond the Chart. And in this Asia update, we're going to check in on China, India, Alibaba, and JD.com. So stay tuned. Let's start off here with the Shanghai Composite. Last Wednesday, it closed here at 30.25. It's been down 38 points over the last 5 days, 1.2%. This gave a shot on Monday at breaking this trend line. It closed slightly below it. Now, this is a trend line I've had drawn in here for many, many weeks. And it then continued a little further yesterday, rallied back, and then came back down 10 points today. So we're right at this trend line. I'm expecting this to continue to break this trend line and to continue to come down and at a minimum looking for a test of this low down here and really expecting it to go below that. The next one is check-in on Shenzhen, the Shenzhen Composite. This is a little more like the NASDAQ in the United States. And this one clearly broke the trend line that I'd had drawn in here on Monday. It broke that trend line. This was down a little over 29 points over the last 5 trading days from here's last Wednesday, and 1.5%. And this move on yesterday and today just came back to the trend line, kind of like a pullback, little pullback in here. So that's the way she looks right now. Same type picture as on the Shanghai. Overlapping waves, very corrective type action, and expecting this to continue to break down further. Next one is the Hang Seng index. This is, like I've talked, has been a lot stronger. Over the last 5 trading days, down 50 points and only 0.2%. So here was last Wednesday right here, and then here's today. You could see we've come down. Looks like we're getting a little possible swing move in here. It's what I'm expecting this to come down and break this trend line and get some movement to the downside. I think we've gotten 5 waves up in here from doing an A, B, C zigzag type pattern. That should be a 5, 3, 5 type of pattern, and that's what I've got labeled out here. So I am expecting this to roll on over, so that's what we're watching for on the Hang Seng. All right, let's check in on the Nifty 50. And the Nifty 50 only down 32 points over the last 5 trading days. Here was last Wednesday. So we popped up the next day, and then we've come back down. I'm looking at this as a 4th intermediate wave here in the 5th primary wave. And this I'm expecting to continue to pull out sideways a little more. Now, if it were to break this trend line here, then I think the start of the 5th wave should be underway. But right now, I'm expecting this to continue to kind of sideways to down and pull back over here, maybe another week or so on this pullback. That's what I'm expecting on the Indian Nifty 50. And then we'll get that 5th intermediate wave, the 5th of the 5th. So that should be it. So we'll be watching for that. All right, that's the update on the indices. Let's take a look at Alibaba. All right, Alibaba, the last time I talked about Alibaba was over here. I published it on the 31st, and the trading was through the 30th. I said I felt like we were in a 3rd minor wave up and that this was continuing to act strong, and it sure has. It's continued this way over the last several weeks, and I don't believe that the 3rd minor wave is complete yet. And I'm expecting it. This is a base channel I've driven that I've diagrammed out here in terms of the trend line here and a parallel line here. I'm expecting this 3rd wave to get above this upper channel, and then we'll redraw the channel after the 3rd wave is complete. But right now, this is still acting strong. And let's see, Alibaba's trading only up 22 cents right now, and it's Wednesday the 28th, and it's about an hour into the first today's trading here in the United States. It did get a lot higher. It was up around 109.87, so almost 110, and then it's backed off a little bit. So continuing to trend higher, and that's what we're expecting here on Alibaba. All right, so the last one we're going to take a look at is JD.com. We're kind of cycling back through the 8 stocks that we watch. So we're back on Alibaba and JD.com. Now, Again, when I talked about this last time, it was on the 31st and trading was through the 30th. And at that point, I said I was skeptical as to whether this was going to break this trend line. This looked like still corrective mode. We've got a whole series of lower highs and lower lows. But, and at that point, did not see 5 waves. Now I'm seeing a potential 5-wave counting here. And still think maybe we've got a little bit more to go on the 4th intermediate wave. And then what this is going to need to do to really prove itself that this is an impulse wave up into here and that it wants to go, needs to break this trend line. And let me zoom back out. This trend line is a trend line from the high back up here in June of 2015 when the Shanghai Composite topped out. And so right now, looking to see if this is going to do that. Can it consolidate a little bit sideways here and then break this trend line? And it needs to get to a higher high also to then start to say, okay, the cycle is broken. But so far, it's got to prove that out, and we're watching to see if that's what it'll do. All right, that's the update for today. If you're not a subscriber, subscribe here on YouTube, and if you're not watching this on my website, head on over to the website, check out the other posts I've got for you and the other things I've got there on the website. All right, everyone, have a great rest of the week. We'll talk to you this weekend.